The racing world witnessed something absolutely extraordinary this year. Keelan Harvick, the 2014 NASCAR Cup Series champion, has been beaten not once, but twice by his own 12-year-old son, Keelan Harvick. This isn't just a feel-good father-son story. This is a complete domination that has left the entire racing community stunned. The stage was set for what many considered an impossible scenario. Keelan Harvick, a NASCAR legend with decades of experience, would face off against his 12-year-old son at Kern Raceway in Bakersfield, California. The anticipation had been building since the announcement in early February. Keelan Harvick owned the track, making this showdown even more significant. Saturday night delivered on every bit of hype. The massive crowd gathered expecting to see a veteran show his young son the ropes. Instead, they witnessed racing history. The race format consisted of two 75-lap segments. Keelan dominated the first half, leading most observers to believe experience would prevail. But the second half told a completely different story. Keelan ramped up his intensity over the final 6 laps, refusing to back down from his legendary father. The decisive moment came with just a handful of laps remaining. Buddy Shepard, Jacob Gomes, and Keelan Harvick were battling hard for the lead when disaster struck in turn 1. Gomes made 7 contact with Keelan, triggering a multi-car wreck that eliminated the elder Harvick from contention. Keelan managed to sneak through the chaos and inherited the lead. From that point, the 12-year-old had to survive one crucial restart. He did exactly that, capturing his first ever Pro Late Model victory. "Let's go," yelled the young Harvick after climbing from his race car. Keelan reflected on the moment afterward. "What a race. I pushed Keelan out of the way earlier, and that wasn't intentional. It was definitely Dad overdriving the car, and unfortunately, he was on the outside." The victory marked Keelan's second win of the year in a full-bodied late model. He had already scored a victory in a limited late model back in February at Florence Motor Speedway in South Carolina. His Cars Tour debut at Cordele Motor Speedway in Georgia resulted in a pole position in April. He finished third in the Pro Late Model field at North Wilkesboro Speedway earlier in May. The post-race interview revealed something remarkable about this 12-year-old's mentality. When asked on NASCAR on Fox about how he felt beating his father, Keelan delivered a response that immediately captured the racing community's attention.
My spotter was guiding me through it, and I kind of just smiled and just waved by.
The racing community embraced this reaction instantly. One fan commented on YouTube, "It takes a legend of a dad to keep the speed in order to race against his son. I was lucky enough to race against my dad, and they were some of my most memorable races. Someday, I'm sure Keelan will look back on these matchups with great fondness." This wasn't just a lucky win for a young driver. This was the emergence of a confident competitor who understood exactly what he had accomplished. If the first victory could be dismissed as luck, the second performance eliminated any doubt. At Evergreen Speedway in Washington State, Keelan didn't just beat his father again, he dominated him from start to finish. Keelan opened up about this defeat on his Happy Hour podcast, providing detailed insight into what he witnessed. "We didn't crash anything. I did get beat by the 12-year-old, Keelan admitted sheepishly. "This time, he just beat me. First time, he finished ahead. This time, just start to finish. Just beat me."
We didn't crash anything. Okay. I did get beat by the 12-year-old, but this time he just beat me.
Like flat out, you're saying.
First time, he finished ahead.
Well, okay, fair. That's fair. That is fair.
First time he finished ahead. This time, just start to finish, just beat me.
The difference between the two races was significant. Keelan explained, "It's the first time I've watched him in the car because I got to race behind him pretty much all day. It's the first time I've watched him in the car, and I was like, he's confident."
It was the first time I've watched him in the car because I got to race behind him pretty much all day. It's the first time that I've watched him in the car and I was like, he's confident.
Kevin's technical analysis revealed the depth of his son's development. He knows how wide his car is. He's comfortable sliding the car around. His side-by-side was, they're close enough right there. And I think that he felt comfortable driving the car in the corner.
He knows how wide his car is. He's comfortable sliding the car around. His his side-by-side was, they're close enough right there, and I think that, he felt comfortable driving the car in the corner.
The performance occurred in front of a capacity crowd of 7,000 people at Evergreen Speedway. The venue's promoters had sold sponsorship for everything, creating a high-purse event that drew competitors from across the region. Kevin and Keelin were major attractions, helping sell out the event. Hayden Plyben won the race, but the real story was the father-son battle playing out behind him. Kevin said, "But man, we raced in front of a capacity crowd, like 7,000 people, folks at Evergreen Speedway, great promoters, sponsorships sold for every freaking thing there. Purse was high for the competitors." The Evergreen race weekend delivered another shock. Keelan's impressive performance extended beyond just beating his father. At the Cookout Summer Shootouts Night of Games in Charlotte on Monday, the 12-year-old started from pole position and led 22 of 25 laps before a late caution restart. London McKenzie overtook Keelin for the win, but the truly remarkable aspect was who finished lower in the field. Scott McLaughlin, who races full-time in the IndyCar Series, and Shane Van Gisbergen, who competes full-time in the NASCAR Cup Series, both finished behind the 12-year-old. Both New Zealand drivers are accomplished professionals who take every opportunity to gain oval racing experience, yet they found themselves outperformed by a middle schooler who has been racing for less than a year in this category. Keelan Harvick has never been one to make excuses, and his analysis of these defeats shows remarkable honesty about his current abilities. Kevin said this on his podcast, "Hey, I'm all about it. I think it's, I've hit nothing about stepping out of the car and losing a step or two when you don't do it every week, and the kids are good nowadays." The 49-year-old acknowledged the reality of modern racing development. Because they race so much, they're exposed to so many more things than what we're exposed to, and they as hell learn a lot faster. Kevin's Fox TV duties had recently concluded, giving him more time to spend at racetracks. The problem, as he put it, was that his son may have surpassed him at this point. The elder Harvick described himself as just an old man out on the track these days, but his pride in his son's development was unmistakable. Watching Keelin drive with confidence, handle side-by-side racing without flinching, and remain calm under pressure in front of thousands of spectators impressed the veteran driver. NASCAR has always been defined by family dynasties. The Earnhardts, Pettys, Elliots, and Jarretts have shaped the sport across generations. The Harvick family appears poised to add another chapter to this legacy. Keelan's performance represents more than just beating his father. At 12 years old, he defeated a former NASCAR Cup Series champion twice in direct competition. He outperformed active professional drivers from IndyCar and NASCAR Cup Series. He maintained composure under pressure that would challenge drivers twice his age. The racing community has taken notice. Fans are already speculating about Keelan's future potential. One comment captured the sentiment. 12 years old, that's impressive. Car looks clean. Kevin is teaching and raising him right. Kevin's observations about modern young drivers provide insight into how racing has evolved. Today's young competitors race far more frequently than previous generations. They face more varied racing situations and learn at an accelerated pace compared to drivers who came up decades ago. Keelin represents this new generation perfectly. His comfort level in the car, spatial awareness, and ability to handle close racing situations demonstrate skills that typically take years to develop. The fact that he's doing this at 12 years old suggests a level of natural talent combined with extensive seat time. Kevin noted the difference in exposure modern drivers receive. Because they race so much, they're exposed to so many more things than what we're exposed to, and they as hell learn a lot faster. Keelan's performance raises questions about the future of NASCAR's competitive landscape. If a 12-year-old can beat active professional drivers and NASCAR champions, what does this suggest about the talent level entering the sport? The answer may lie in the increased opportunities for young drivers to gain experience. Modern racing allows children to compete in various series from an early age, accumulating seat time that previous generations couldn't access. Keelan's success demonstrates how this early exposure can accelerate development. Kevin's role has evolved from competitor to mentor and supporter. His pride in his son's accomplishments overshadows any disappointment about his own performance. "I'm all about it," Kevin said, embracing his son's success completely.